Hi, this is Nianta Spellman with Rainforest Partnership, bringing to you Our Planet, Our Future, a video podcast presented by Rainforest Partnership. Find us at www.rainforestpartnership.org and on social media. Join us as we bring interesting and compelling guests to talk about the environment, climate change, and rainforests. It is so lovely to have you on the board of Rainforest Partnership. It is lovely to be at your home and to have you host this event right here in South Lake.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
So tell me, what made you want to be on the board of Rainforest Partnership?
Well, I think that I've been an environmentalist for a long time. You know, I mentioned today that I'd been an avid reader of Scientific American, and you know, you read things, and we're talking 20 years ago, you're reading about man-made climate change and the impact it's going to have, and thinking about what the solutions are to that. I knew I wanted electric cars. I knew when I could eventually afford it to have a house with solar panels, that I needed to try and actively recycle, reduce my carbon footprint. And I did those things, and I think I was successful at achieving all of those things. But then when the opportunity came to learn more about the impact the rainforest has on causing climate change and the effects of deforestation, when I learned about that, and from you and from Hazel, I was really shocked. I was really shocked that I had not read that the carbon emitted from cutting down rainforests is equal to all the cars and trucks in the world every year.
More than, actually.
And it's more than that now.
Yes.
And but I think by when people hear that comparison, it frames it into something they can understand. There's a lot of cars. We all know there's a lot of cars and trucks, and they cause a lot of pollution. And we all so that then became very meaningful to me. This is something that we need to try and solve. Also, when you compounding that is the fact that we have mass extinction going on,
yes,
which you mentioned today. We don't know really the impact that's going to have on the ecology of the world, as well as the fact that the rainforests produce 20% of all our oxygen we breathe. And so, we've got to leave behind a world for our children, our grandchildren, and all the generations that come afterwards. And I think the thing that people don't realize about today, that's different from every other generation before, is our actions and our inactions today will be recorded forever.
Yes.
Previously, I don't know what my great-grandfather did. Actually, I have a great-grandfather that fought in the Second World War. So I do know that from, the story has been handed down. So I know the sacrifices he made. But our future generations will know what we did and did not do. So now is definitely the time for us to really get our facts straight, make sure we understand the sources of information, that it's not fake, this is real. Man-made climate change is real. 97% of all the scientists in the world agree.
And which, by the way, is the same as agree on tobacco use causing cancer.
Exactly. And they agreed that lead in the gasoline,
yes,
several generations, decades ago, was the cause of illnesses in Americans, and so they removed the gasoline. So America can make big choices, and it can do the right thing. And because America is the biggest country in the world, we economically,
yes, for sure,
we're the big 800-pound gorilla. We've got to do something about this, and even if it's uphill battle with the political party in power at the time, we still have to, as individuals, do what we can. And so I'm in a fortunate enough position to do more than most people can, and I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, it was a privilege and an honor to kind of join the Rainforest Partnership Board and trying to stop that deforestation by using those entrepreneurial methods we talked about.
Yes. So that's great, because what you're saying is that it's very personal for you, and which is always very powerful, right?
Yes.
When it becomes a personal thing. What do you think we can do here in Texas, you heard Trammell Crow talking about how if we can get people in Dallas making decisions to understand how our actions can make a difference, how do we go, and now he's talking about the environment, we're talking about rainforests, which is sort of, in people's mind, it's a sort of small subset, which is far away. How do you think we should best convey to people why these forests that make up less than 3% of the surface area of our planet are so important and vital to the balance of our planet and the well-being?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very difficult question, and I think it comes down to what I call courage and leadership. I think people have to have the courage to speak out about the fact that the world is changing. Man is changing the climate, and the things we can do something about. So it takes courage to actually take action, if you will. And then the leadership part is for people to stand up and be accounted for, and actually have their voices heard. With the internet, we have this massive amounts of information coming at us constantly, and it's very hard to break through that noise.
Right.
So we need people who are the leaders in our communities and in social media and politically to step up. And unfortunately, right now, our political leaders aren't stepping up. They're actually stepping back from the problem. And
at the national level,
Yeah.
but at the state level
Yeah.
and city levels, people have been filling that void.
Yeah. And I think if there's one thing I wish I could convey to people is, they don't know who to trust, right?
Right.
Trust has been a really difficult thing in the last few years, in the last election cycle especially. But if I could have people understand the scientific rigor that our scientific community goes through
Right.
in trying to prove, hello Molly, if we can have them understand the peer review process of the scientific method and how difficult it is if you claim
You can't make a claim.
you can't make a
unless-
claim unless you can prove it, and even then that's not enough.
Yeah.
You have to take your data and your theory, and other people, dozens of other scientists and,
Yes.
and organizations around the world have to agree and reproduce your results. And so becoming a successful scientist and proving something net new is so incredibly difficult.
Right.
That when 97% of all the scientists in the world tell us that we are raising the temperature of the planet and it's going to have devastating effects, we have to trust that. Scientists are people we can trust, and so with that, let's listen to what the scientists have to say, and they also have solutions as well. Right. Here's the problem: they also have suggested solutions. So let's listen to those solutions and put them into practice, and demand our politicians listen to the scientific community.
You've been listening to Our Planet, Our Future, brought to you by Rainforest Partnership. From Nianta Spellman and the Rainforest Partnership team, thank you for joining us.